good evening, everyone. Today, this evening, I would love to share the 3 mindfulness insights that have really helped me personally. And part of this is, or really all of this is, I feel as if by me sharing this with all of you, with the world, I feel like I am integrating. So as I am sharing, I'm integrating this into my continuation of my practices and my journey. And I really feel like this is something that is really helpful. So I'm really passionate to share this with you. I took a moment to write some of this stuff down. So I have it written down here in my little journal book. But before I start getting into that, I would just love for us to tune in, and of course with a little bit of love frequency music in the background, to just, to get on that frequency of open heart, that frequency of love. And of course, I love my chimes, so my chimes. So with that said, again, I just noted 3 different insights of mindfulness that have helped support me. And as I'm getting into this, I'm going to go ahead and name number 1. Number 1 is self-awareness. I believe that, or I had believed, right, that I wasn't so great with noticing, or my awareness wasn't as expansive. I can say it was not as expansive. And I now, as I have been practicing mindfulness, and so I feel like my self-awareness has gotten more expansive through meditation and breathing practices, and even just through movement. I feel like I have gotten my self-awareness to level up and to open up, and I am noticing things about myself. I'm noticing patterns. I'm noticing beliefs that are not necessarily beliefs that are true. So it's helping me so that I can challenge those beliefs. Is this really a true belief, or is it not? So again, self-awareness through meditation, through breathing exercises, through movement, because I enjoy the movement. I enjoy to move this body, and when I'm able to move this body, it doesn't always have to be with music, but when I have the movement and I tune into my body, I feel as if I am completely tuned in. So that is another way. And meditation also, it allows me to kind of help, calm my mind and the thoughts, and tune in that way as well. So I feel with these practices, it has helped me cultivate a heightened sense of awareness. And I'm able to observe my thoughts and feelings without judgment. And with that, I'm able to really see myself. And I have gone into this space of, I'm able to see these things occurring, the thoughts, the patterns, the what is of it, and behaviors as well. And I've been able to notice these things and be in this awareness that has led me to insights. Because I feel as if now that I can look at this and I can see it and bring it into my awareness, I'm able to do something with it. But it also allows me to be in the state of not judging, like not judging myself or not judging others or not judging, why am I doing this again, or why am I feeling this way again, or why does this thought keep coming in that this thought is not very pleasant. So things like that. So once again, number one is self-awareness, and that's how it has helped support me. And number two is clarity of thought. Through mindfulness, I've been able to get a clarity of my thoughts, to really been able to really tune in just through regular mindfulness practices, like the ones I mentioned, like the meditation, like the breathing exercises, like the movement, the body movement, the music, the chanting, the prayer. I'm able to tune in to all of me and really get into this space of relaxation and non-judgment and acceptance and compassion, and because sometimes that's needed, for me to be able to not be judgmental of myself. I feel as if I have to kind of fall into this meditative space of compassion and gentleness for myself, so that I'm able to see, I'm able to really clearly see the thoughts versus being the thoughts. I'm able to witness them. Okay, great, this thought came in. It's not very pleasant, but I have clarity now that I am tuned in, that those thoughts aren't pleasant, and I want different thoughts that make me feel good. So therefore, I focus on different thoughts when I am tuned in. And also when I am tuned in, I'm able to really have clarity on the thoughts. And then I'm able to go into reflection and ask, well, what are these thoughts here to show me? And what are these thoughts, where are they coming from? So I'm able to do something with it versus it's avoiding them or not seeing them because they're present. So it gives me clarity of thought, as I said. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. As I'm gaining the clarity of my thoughts and of this thinking, this can reveal underlying beliefs and assumptions that shape or change my perceptions, which also it leads me to insights, because I'm able to see again with the belief system, is this really a belief that is true? Or is this a belief that, that has been here for a while? Or is it a new belief? And how is this created? And is this based on truth? Or is this based on my fears? Is this based on a story that was created for who knows what reason? So I'm able to challenge that belief system. I'm able to challenge and ask the questions, is this true? And why do I believe that this is true? And go back and change and ask more questions to that question. And then number 3 is integration of learning through mindfulness. I'm able to integrate the insights that I gain through mindfulness in my daily life. And this definitely helps to influence how I live my life, how I approach it from everything, from every angle, my daily life, how I approach it with people, with my friendships, relationships, I should say like all relationships, right? How I approach it from all relationships, how I approach it with my decision making, how I approach my life, with my choices that I make every day. And this is through integrating my learning. Because as I am learning, and if I'm integrating that with mindfulness, then of course, as I'm integrating this, and this is actually becoming like a learning, and I can do something with it, I can evolve with it, I can practice it, I can make it better. So again, those are the 3 mindfulness insights that have helped to really support me. Self-awareness, clarity of thought, integration of learning, and they have really helped me in the way that it really does influence my decisions and my choices, and the way that I either am gonna react or I'm going to respond, and there's a difference there. And it also has helped me to be able to see what I need to see. So the awareness that comes with it, that I'm able to have the clarity of these thoughts, and that I'm able to challenge the thoughts, because right where those thoughts are, there's also some beliefs that come with the thoughts, and with these beliefs I'm able to challenge them and ask, is this a real true story? Is this a real belief? Is this real? Or is this something that was created and it's not real? So as we create these beliefs systems, right? We create these beliefs within us, and these thoughts, these reoccurring thoughts, they come from these beliefs that we have. And not all beliefs are bad, but one thing that I know for sure is, if a thought comes in and I am bringing it into my awareness, right? Because I'm watching it, then I'm able to see that, how does it feel to me? How do I feel right now with this thought? If this thought is not feeling good, then I question, why isn't it feeling good? And then I question, is it tied to a belief? And is this belief true? Is this tied to a story? And is this story true? Right? And so there comes clarity of thought, and it comes awareness, but because also we're able to do something with this. So just wanted to share those with you. I hope that helps. If any of this resonates with you, definitely there's so much stuff out now, so many resources. This particularly is based on mindfulness practices, and I definitely would encourage, if you've never tried specifically like any kind of mindfulness workshops or anything mindfulness, I would encourage it so much, because it helps so much to tune in, not just like focusing on fixing and changing and judging, because when we are just judging ourselves, like how many times do we judge ourselves and say, oh, here I go again, or oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Like, we say these things, right? But the more that we say these kinds of things to ourselves as we're going into this judgment, or if we judge ourselves because of the thoughts that we have, right? We're going into this judgment, and then we automatically want to fix this. We want to fix it. So mindfulness helps so that we can separate that a little bit. As we know that the thoughts are coming in, it's okay. It's like they're coming in, and it's all right. Our goal with mindfulness is to tune in, to do whatever it is that can get you into a space that you can calm and relax, and then just let it be. Like, let it be whatever it's gonna be. And then you can realize, because you can start bringing these things into your awareness of what's happening, what is happening with you, and then how you start to bring awareness into what's happening with the body. How are you feeling this in the body? And as you're noticing what's going on in the body, then you can question, wait, does this feel good? Where am I feeling it? And does it feel good or not? And one thing that's for sure, right? If it doesn't feel good, then there's something there that is not good for you, right? So again, mindfulness practices, highly encourage it. Thank you all. Have an amazing night. As I said, if this resonates with you or if this helps in any way, I recommend mindfulness. I really do. I recommend mindfulness practices and maybe even workshops to learn more about it, or look it up, look up things on YouTube, online, anything that you can get into for mindfulness. I found mindfulness through a friend of my beloved, and it's been the most amazing practices that I have brought into my life. It's been something great, like a great additional resource, and not even just a resource, but it's just it has helped me to change my way of being, my way of how I interact in the world, how I make my choices and my decisions. And of course, everything is a progress, right? But something that I know for sure is that I'm happy with the progression that I've had with it, because of I was a lot more reactive before I started mindfulness. And now that I've been practicing mindfulness for a few months, I feel as if my reactiveness is not as much as I can still have these little moments. And now I'm even learning of myself through that. When I have these moments, it's like, what is happening with me, that I'm having these moments of reactivity still, and I'm able to tune into that as well without necessarily judging myself or judging that or trying to fix that, but just like mostly just sitting with it. Like, I'm really learning to sit with what's going on and just kind of like watch it and be with it. So like, be with it, sitting, watching, not to become what's going on, but to actually be able to feel what's going on, to see what's going on, to observe, and then to be able to do something different with that, and to go into reflection, and to go into questioning, and to go into, maybe more profound meaning and get insights on why these things are occurring. So definitely encourage that. Sending love to you all, and I'm excited to continue integrating as I'm learning something different, because one of my goals is to learn something different every day. And so whether it's something completely different, or maybe it's a different, a different word that I'm learning, that's my goal, that's my commitment, because I want to continue to have this focus of growth and this focus of development and continuation, right? And a better version that can emerge every single day if we choose that. If we choose that, we can have a different, more higher version of ourselves that emerges every single time. So I'm committed to that for myself, for me, as I want to continue to grow and expand and become a better version of myself, for myself and for those around me and for those that I love, and for those that that come into my life every day. We are complete strangers until one of us says hello, right? And so once one of us says hello, then we break that barrier, and we're no longer strangers after that. So that's one of the things that I'm committed to continuing to show up here for myself with you guys, whoever is listening, but just to continue to integrate what I'm learning. Because one biggest realization that I had this past weekend, as I was in Bhakti Fest, and I did a lot of work on myself this past weekend. For whatever reason, it was, of course, it was sacred land, sacred grounds, and I was able to easily facilitate this for myself. But I really had this beautiful realization that, we can learn so many things, but it really is not meaningful if this is not shared, or if this is not integrated, or if this is not applied, because then we're not practicing it, we're not doing anything with it. And then what else can, how are we continuing that learning? And so it dawned on me. I said, wow, this is all integrating. And it was clear as ice, was in the moment of having a chakra balancing and Reiki session. And I'm a Reiki therapist, and I was certified in Reiki, years ago. And now it's like, okay, it's great that I learned, it's great that I was certified amongst all other things, right? Like other certifications and things like that, because I love growth, and I'm always focusing on doing something more, doing something different to integrate it into what I'm doing. But it dawned on me, I said, wow, like these are things that I know, right? That I've learned, and that I'm not practicing on the daily. And because of that, I realized it is so, so, so important for us to integrate these practices as we are learning them, right? As we're learning them, integrate them so that you can do something great in your life, so that you can have better decision making, so that you can have or make better choices. It's so many like little things, but it's all these little things that really make a difference in our life, of how we show up, what we're standing for. And then if we want to think bigger, it's like what our purpose is, what we're doing here while we're here in this beautiful body. What are we doing with this beautiful body? What are we doing with this beautiful voice, with our breath? What are we doing with this beautiful spirit? It's like, what are we doing with that? And so it brings up great questions. Again, not to go into a judging or fixing, but just to go into more of a reflecting, and then questioning the thoughts that are coming in, and then questioning the beliefs that are coming in. Because tying this back to our workshop that me and my beloved just did with Empowered Living, which is our brand, tying this back, it was all about, it was breaking barriers and building confidence, and how do we become limitless with that. And it's really starting from the basic things. It's starting from us having limited beliefs, and then those thoughts that come in. So one of the things that I would love to say, I started with with saying 3 mindfulness practices, right? But this is discussion is evolving, and more things are coming through that I want to share. And so with that workshop, it was about these limited beliefs. And with the limited beliefs, it's as we're getting these thoughts, we're creating a story. And this is where we have to go into the asking, what story am I creating? And is this true? Are these thoughts true? And then are these beliefs true? And is this story true? And is it real? Because one thing that can easily happen, and that always does, and I'm sure you guys can agree, is that when we have a belief and we put it into our story and we continue to believe it, that becomes real for us. That becomes real. It becomes our reality. It becomes what we are doing today. It becomes what we are doing tomorrow. It becomes our worries. It becomes our, depending on what it is, if it's a limited belief, then guess what that does? That doesn't go into a space of us saying that we're unlimited. It makes us go into a space that we're limited, and we are not. We are not limited. The only reason why we can ever believe that we are limited is because of the beliefs that are negative beliefs, that are not the good beliefs that we bring upon ourselves. This is the only reason why we can believe that we are limited, okay? Because We have so many great mentors, so many great coaches. We have so many great teachers, leaders that are out in the world already that have shown us. We have athletes. We have, wholesome human beings that are just showing up, that are saying and doing things that maybe don't have all their limbs, like meaning they don't have 2 arms and 2 feet, there's so many greats that are already showing us. And to this day, it continues to happen where we're able to question, am I really limited, or am I limiting myself? And why am I limiting myself? And why do I have this limited belief? And where is it coming from? And when we start to go there and ask, when we start to ask those questions, we start to get answers from ourselves. If we're really courageous and we really go in profound, we start to get answers. And sometimes, just sometimes, if we don't have our awareness so expansive, it might take somebody else that's really close to you to be able to bring up a point that helps you to reflect, to be able to see and have clarity. The most important thing is to sit with yourself, because you know you better. You know yourself better than anybody else in this world. You're with yourself every single day. You're the one thinking the thoughts. You're the one creating the beliefs. You're the one creating your story. So you know you best. So you know what is real for you and what's not. And one of the other things, when we go into these, we say thoughts, right? And then from thoughts, we get emotions. And the emotions, we feel them in the body. And when we're feeling these, are they coming from a place of love, or are they coming from a place of fear? Because when we have those, we have the easiest way to identify is if it's coming from fear, then they're not going to feel so good. And some of those fear thoughts and emotions we're going to feel them in the body, of course, but we're going to also know that they don't feel good. Those are an automatic. When they don't feel good, you know that it cannot be something that is connected to love if it doesn't feel good. This much I know. When it's connected to love, I know that it feels good. And when it's connected to love, I know that I can be empathetic. I know that I can be compassionate. I know that I can be kind, and I am. But when I'm not, and it's connected to fear, I know that when it's connected to fear, it doesn't, not only does it not feel good, but also another thing that happens is I am reactive. I maybe am not able to control my emotion. I need to get away. Which, how many times does that, I don't know if it happens to anybody else, but where you kind of like just feel like you need to get away from a situation because it's like it seems like it's a little too much. And so that right there is an indicator. One, yes, it can be an indicator that, of course, you don't feel good in that whole situation or in that environment or in what's going on in that whole scenario. But the other thing thing that it can be as well is that it's something that is based and connected to fear. And so something, if we truly want to become limitless and really hold this belief system of being unlimited, then we must face fear right in the eyes. We must face it and build up that courage and ask the questions that feel profound, that are not so easy sometimes. And we must ask these questions and see and allow our spirit to come through, because our spirit knows. Our spirit guides us in the right direction, of course, when we're aligned. But our spirit never fails us. Our spirit knows. It's here to guide us, to what's the next thing, So with all that, I'm sending you all so much love, 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 and more love. And again, my commitment to myself is to share and to integrate the learnings. And my my whole goal with this is that we may continue to evolve, expand, grow together, because this is not something that is done alone. Us becoming a better version of ourselves is working together, is being together, is discussion, is being there for one another. It's doing things and sharing the learning, so that we can integrate the learning, so that it can become something that is part of our practices, right? And that's integration. But as we integrate, then this becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're able to give this gift to somebody else that might be going through something similar, that they can receive it and they can do something beautiful with it in their life, rather than thinking that there's no way out, rather than thinking that this is it, rather than going into judgment and into the negative feelings and beliefs that don't feel so good, that lead into a whole different path of so many other things, right? So many things are out there, and that lead into the path of getting labeled for depression, getting labeled for anxiety, getting labeled for different things that are real, right? That are real to us. But it takes time to create these things. It takes time to create these things that we're feeling, these things that are so real, because we're creating these stories. It takes time. And it also creates time as we are creating and we're taking it into the body. This is why the body feels the sickness. This is why the body feels the illness. This is why the body aches. This is why the body hurts, because of the story that we are believing, thinking, being, and bringing into our reality. And we are all that powerful that we can be limitless, right? So not limiting, but being unlimited, okay? And the story that we are creating, it matters. And you know why it matters? Because it creates ripple effects. It creates ripple effects whether we want to believe that or not. It really does. Because what we do today is going to make a difference for somebody else's tomorrow. Now, we're not perfect. And things are going to happen, and things are not always going to be pretty, right? But I truly believe that when we do make mistakes, or that when we do, fall into a fear-based emotion, or when we fall into a fear-based thought, right? When we fall into these things and we're creating contrast, why are we doing it? And if we're learning from it, that's beautiful. And if we're doing something great with it, then that's beautiful. And if we're not, and we're continuing to do this, then what is the purpose behind it? Is the purpose to get sick? Is the purpose to get ill? And if it is, why? Why is that your purpose? So these are just simple questions and questions and questions, so that you can bring more and more out. It's a moment to release. It is September 30th. It is our last day. I say like our last day to release in this powerful moon and sun eclipse that we had, and these portals that opened up. It is a beautiful time to just release anything else, any stagnant energies, anything else that doesn't serve your life, anything else that you are like, you know what, I'm tired of this and I'm just letting it go. Or you notice something, you brought it into your awareness and you don't really want it anymore, then I say today I choose to let it go. Because all this is just a thought. It's an emotion that is connected to fear that is not doing me any good. So I release it and I let it go. So we will continue to talk more about limiting beliefs with because I feel like this is here to stay. This is a topic of evolvement. But with that said, again, the practices bring us peace. Practices bring us tranquility. Practices, allow us to step into a better version of ourselves every single day. It allows us to make choices with intention. So our practices do so many great things, but the practices that feel good to you, in your body, that feel good to you in your mind and your spirit. So thank you all. Have an amazing night, a restful sleep, and may you guys have an amazing morning. As you tune in and align tonight, you will have an amazing morning tomorrow. And again, it's all on your choice. Depending on what you want to do. So thank you. Have a great night, everybody. Love, 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 and more love. This time it's for real. I'm going away for right now. Bye.